Come to order. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so here we are for the August meeting of the Borough of Conshohocken Authority. The first item on the agenda is executive session. Are we going to go into executive session or should we? Pardon me?
Roll call.
Roll call. Roll call.
Okay. Christine Bertino.
Here.
Jack Ambler. Aparna Chibber.
Here.
George Bass.
Here.
Tina Sokolowski.
Is that it? Okay, so are we going to break into executive session now or?
I know we have it on there all the time, but
I think it's just a placeholder.
Yeah.
I don't believe there's a need for executive session.
I'm sorry.
I don't believe there's a
we
need.
don't have any.
Okay, so we'll move on. Public comment? There's no one here to comment, so no invited guest. We have approval of the minutes from July 23rd.
I'll make a motion.
Make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. Financial report.
You want to do the bill list first? What do you want to do first?
Let's do the bill list first.
Okay.
Right?
So you're gonna say,
Someone make a motion to approve paying the bills in the amount of,
yep, $239,943.97.
do I have a motion to approve the bills in that amount?
Yeah, I have some questions. What is Nationwide Testing Association? What was that?
So that is who we use. They test all of the CDL drivers that we have on staff. They do drug and alcohol
Okay,
testing.
Just random.
Yes.
That's the only question? Christine, anything?
Nope.
Okay. A motion to approve the bills?
Make a motion to approve bills in the amount of $200,039,943.97.
I'll second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Okay, and we'll do roll call for that. So Christine Bertino? Yes.
Yes.
Aparna Chibber?
Yes.
George Bass?
Yes. Okay. IBX Medical Insurance Renewal.
Yes. So we got the insurance renewal for next year. And if you see in the packet, they did give us a couple of alternative options. But the plan that we currently have only has an increase of $1,402 for the year. So I'm recommending that we stick with the plan that we currently have for the 10/1/2024 renewal.
Okay, and that goes until,
That goes until
Till
September
9/30,
of 25, yep.
Is that a first, like, some amounts of going down?
So it didn't go down. So the reason that it looks like it went down is because our Medicare piece is not on there. That number did not change. That's $251.33. So that hasn't changed. That's why it looks like it went down. It didn't actually go down.
And Medicare, we pay direct to,
Well, we pay it through the IBX invoice, but we
Okay.
only have one employee on that, and they're not part of the regular plan.
do we need a motion to approve?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve the new IBX group insurance renewal effective October 1st.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Solicitors report.
No, wait, no, we,
What?
we,
Do we need a roll call?
no, we don't need a roll call, but we still have some more stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. AC. Always around
The
6:30.
ACH agreements.
ACH portal agreement.
So,
Yeah, what is that?
so that's, the ACH portal was what we were trying to do so that you don't have as many checks
Right,
to
process.
sign.
Yeah.
But after going over it again right before this meeting, we have a couple of more questions about the dual controls and stuff like that
Okay.
and who's going to sign them. So we don't actually have to approve that this month, but we
Okay.
have to start thinking about who's going to sign the ACHs and how that's going to work and what our limit is going to be for ACHs.
So is that something you're going to put together for next month?
Yes. So, like I said, we were planning on having it approved, but then after looking back on the emails and everything, we have a couple more things we have to figure out.
Okay, so that's basically on the agenda for discussion tonight, that we will have
Yes.
more
If-
discussion about it in September.
Yes.
Well, it ties into the first item on my report, which is the resolution. So when we have this conversation with Tompkins, then we'll update that resolution for getting decision points.
Right.
There's a couple of decision points, but I think Shannon is saying we don't have the full list of decision points.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we're gonna have that meeting with Tompkins at the staff level.
Yes.
And we'll go back in September. Okay,
So it's back for any decision points. So that means
Yes.
you did a little bit short.
Yes.
You need to use the microphones.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you know it says Anita Martin?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
It does have the other council members on there. Do you want me to go tell him that?
so whoever's talking at the time,
Oh, it could be. Either that, I think maybe they're just, somebody just take it right under there.
yeah. Okay, so we're done with the financial report?
Yes. And I did put the draft budget in there for you to look at.
Right.
But it's still in draft form. We're still talking about it, but just so you have an idea of what we're looking at for next year.
Okay,
Okay?
all right. So now we move on to the solicitor's
Nope,
report.
you got to approve the financial report.
Okay.
I think the motion is second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Financial report is approved, accepted. Now we can move to the solicitor's report. All right.
So item number one, as we discussed, is going to come off tonight's agenda. You don't need to take official action on it. We'll just remove it from the agenda and it'll reappear in September, probably in a modified form.
Okay,
So the second item on the agenda has to do with a project that's actually located at 401 433 Washington Street. I emailed everyone yesterday with a draft of an agreement. I've been working with Fred and Brent and the developer over the last couple of weeks to get this agreement in a form that is ready for the board's consideration as of 5:30 this evening. I have a form that the developer is happy with, staff is ready to recommend. It is consistent with what I circulated yesterday with one significant change. They updated the signatories to the agreement, but they're also asking that normally we don't reserve capacity for a project until they write their check. And what they're asking for is they want to be able to pay on a per building basis, which was already in the agreement. But they want essentially a 60-day right of refusal so that if we see a bunch of projects coming in, we will notify them and say, we have a lot of projects coming in. You might want to purchase your capacity now to reserve your capacity. They would then have 60 days to then write a check. And if they don't do that, they would have no reservation of capacity. So essentially it works out to be a soft reservation. In talking to both Fred and Brent, we have plenty of capacity, so we're not concerned about it. And this would not be open-ended. At the end of 2 years, if they haven't paid their tapping fees in full, there is no reservation of capacity. There's no more right of first refusal. So it's an accommodation for a large developer. This is a total of nearly $3 million in tapping fees that they have to come up with, which is why they're asking for certain accommodations.
Have we done this before?
We have not done this exactly before, but there have been other projects that we accommodated developers on their tapping fee requests. One was one of the towers.
Either that or Sora West, I think we even phased it.
Sora West, we phased it. One of the towers, we entered
Seven.
into like a lock-in agreement, Seven
Yep.
Tower, I think it
Yep,
was.
somehow.
So we have worked with developers before when there are large tapping fee payments. And they've asked for this 60-day notice period because of their finance. Their lender wants them to have some sort of at least soft guarantee that they can cut a check and get their tapping fees. So, but this is the board's decision. So I did tell them it was subject to the three of you approving this evening. The other piece of this, they need to dedicate easements over to the authority. Normally, we do not sign these agreements or have pre-construction meetings until all those easements are recorded. I did tell them that we could approve the agreement tonight and hold it in escrow until we at least have a signed easement agreement from them. I have worked with their attorney before, and he has given me assurances that if there are any recording issues, he'll work with me to get them corrected. But that would allow them to, if they can get their ducks in a row over the next couple of weeks to get the easements done, get a pre-con scheduled, that they wouldn't have to wait until the board's next meeting to get their service and escrow agreement approved.
And we got the easements already.
The
We
legals,
have to do
okay,
the
good.
agreements, yeah. Just got them. But yeah, they are following through.
That's hot off the presses news. I did not know that.
Yeah, probably like 20 minutes ago. While I was driving here.
So this doesn't open us up to any sort of liability if somebody come back, somebody who had to pay everything, other tapping fees up front, and having them say, why didn't we get that,
No. When people have asked us for accommodations, we have worked with them.
Right.
And this is for 484 EDUs. This is an enormous project. So historically, again, when we've had these large projects come in, we've worked with developers, and we've always been very developer friendly at this authority. So
And this is on East Washington?
this is right on the
Right
border.
on the township borderline, right on Washington Street, right where White Marsh and Conshohocken come together.
A piece of the property is actually in White Marsh
So
Township.
you're pointing that way, it's that way.
That way. Yes,
That
you're
way.
right. It's that, I'm still thinking I'm sitting in the treatment plant. I'm
So
still
they've been
treatment plant.
digging there
That
for a
way.
while.
Yes, it's on the corner of Cherry and Washington.
Okay.
So, and this project, the entire sewer main that will come over to the authority belongs to us. It is located in Conshohocken and it flows to our plant, so we don't have to worry about splitting tapping fees with White Marsh.
Okay. Do we need a,
It'd be a motion to approve the agreement, subject to all the conditions that I laid out for you tonight. I'm not going to make you repeat them.
all right, I'll make a motion to approve the agreement, subject to all the accommodations.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 And
Do it. Right.
the last one is a motion to approve a contract for professional services for a project located at 1030 Riverview Lane. The developer is Thomas Andrew Homes Incorporated, and I will defer to Brent, Fred, and Ed about any project specifics on that one. But this is just one of our standard forms.
Connection, it's just one tap in, they're just building a home, there's sneaking one in between two other ones in West Conshohocken.
And I think they've already paid their tapping fee.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So what, I don't understand the terminology, all right, so maybe I just need to be educated here. We have a contract for personal services
Professional.
So this is
between
the,
us and them, or?
yeah, so this is
They
to make
pay our
sure
bills.
they pay Fred's bills, they pay my bills for anything related to their
Okay.
project.
Thank you. So,
Make a motion to approve professional services for 1030 Riverview Lane.
I'll second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks. Lauren, we had the BWA rules and regulations. Is that for further discussion?
Yes, so Brent and I met with the borough and the borough manager and borough solicitor last week, 2 weeks ago. I believe it was 2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks
And
ago.
we had given them a copy of the draft of the rules and regulations, the same copy that I circulated to everyone on the board. We haven't gotten comments back from them yet. We did discuss with them the one thing that we wanted to draw their attention, which was the definition of impervious coverage. The way that the borough defines it, a pool is considered pervious, therefore it does not count towards your impervious coverage. The way that our calculations on stormwater, it was the opposite. It counts as impervious surface. about half the municipalities define it one way versus the other, so it's actually not unusual to have a split. But the borough did indicate that they would revise their ordinance to mirror our regulations. So again, we're just waiting on comments from them to see, but we did tell them we wanted to put that on the September agenda.
Yeah, I'm curious about the removal of the CFR regulation for, but basically what I would consider specs and standards and adding in the best management practices.
For stormwater, do you have a section number? I apologize, it's been a,
I don't. All right,
let's see.
it's a whole section, is it, we don't have it, right?
I have it, I can pull it up.
Okay. But you took out a whole section and replaced it with something new. And I'm just, it comes from my experience in the climate industry. I have a problem with best business practices versus a hard and fast standard. It sounds subjective to me versus.
I think it's a defined term in stormwater. Best management practices
I see,
is
yes.
actually a defined term, and it is a guidance book that they have to follow. So the reason that it's referenced in there is that best management practices, under these scenarios, it's a hierarchy that they have to follow, and they go through. So it's not like an industry-wide term. It's actually a DEP defined term.
It is a DEP defined term.
And I say DEP may be conservation district, but DEP
Right.
and conservation district, it is a defined term and manual, and
Right.
it's a procedure that you must follow. It's not the generic best management practices or best available technology that's generic and that you use your best interest. No, it's actually a defined
So
standard.
it does go back to an actual.
It goes back to a
document
standard.
that outlines. Yeah, okay.
And as technology has come up, DEP refines that manual and the hierarchy of what they have to find. As additional infiltration, things go up. Before rain garden may have been the best of it, may have been their number one, it's now number 5.
Okay.
And because there's other things that they'd rather do with drip irrigation.
So,
or-
yeah, so sorry, I'm going to interrupt Fred just because I found the section that you're talking to. So the old rules, regs, rules, and regulations had this definition of best management practice, which cited to the CFR. But when you actually started going through the regulations, it dealt with stormwater. And so we looked at the stormwater definition that was in the borough code, and we pulled the stormwater definition from the borough code, which is consistent with all the DEP and MPDES regulations.
Thank you. Okay. That's everything, right? So I have a motion to approve the solicitor's report.
On the motion?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The solicitor's report is approved. Fred, engineer's report.
Yep, the first one is reduction performance security for Matson Mill. Basically, we've accepted dedication. When we accept dedication, we release, we just hold the construction security for the maintenance period, which I believe is 15% in this case. It's normally 10%, but so we are reducing it down that. So the contractor's built everything, he's dedicated it. The purpose of that remaining security is when I do my final punch list inspection, if there's something there, we can use their money to do it, or there's incentive for them to do it. So they are just coming around to the point of saying, hey, we dedicated this back in June. Can we now have our money? As soon as you ask, absolutely. So that is there. So that is just a reduction. Do I need a motion on that? Because I don't think we need a motion. We're just releasing that down in accordance with their contract. The next one is payment request 3 to in situ form. This is the closeout of their contract, so we can close out the grant and receive our reimbursement. So I'm making the recommendation for payment request number 3 in the amount of $18,330.50 to in situ form to allow us to close out the grant and be reimbursed. So I think we do need a motion on that, or a motion on that,
Motion and a roll
because you're
call.
paying.
Is this the one we went over last month where they wanted all this extra money?
Yep. We denied them and said, here's the remaining money that you have. It's a
And-
contract.
And they said nothing.
They said nothing.
Right.
No, I wouldn't say they acknowledged it. I wouldn't say they listened to me, probably said a few nasty words and have not come back with anything other than that. So I said, listen, I presented it to the board. We discussed it. The third time, the answer is no. So you do what you want to do, but we follow the rules and that's where it is. Do I think it's the end of it? Probably not, but they keep on asking, I keep on saying no, and we close out their contract.
Close out the contract, close out the grant,
Yep,
and they really have no legal, I mean,
No.
they can always sue, but
exactly.
suing
Anybody can
doesn't
sue
mean
anybody for
anything without
anything.
a grant leg to stand on.
You know, and I'm not saying that there wasn't something, but you didn't notify me, you didn't follow any of the procedures, and it's just not justified.
Right.
So I guess we would need a motion, oh, we've already approved the
Yeah,
paycheck,
we
so.
approved it.
So it's
last
for the
time.
bills. Next thing is the electrical upgrade in the info pump station. We had our kickoff meeting with Keystone Engineering Group and the operations staff. Went very successful. So they're going full bore on the design right now. So we actually had it at the treatment plant. We did a complete tour. And I'm already getting some progress prints from them on concept. So everything's going very good that way. You will see in the report, I added a lot of development updates. A lot of those are honestly placeholders for me and for you as the board to know. Hey, we accept the dedication back here because it's a two-year dedication or maintenance period. So during that time period, we just have a date to refer to. So it helps me make sure that my guys are going out. So we wait until about 60 to 90 days before the end of the maintenance period, and we'll do our final inspection. That way they can get everything completed. At the end of the maintenance period, we just release the remaining money, like the money we're holding for Matson Mill. So this is just kind of my way. Instead of keeping it as an internal tracker, I said, let's put it out to the board. That way they see it. And that when they see these maintenance periods come up, they're going to say, oh, I've seen that for the last 5 months on the board report. That's coming up, you know. Or, hey, Fred, I see that one's due in June. Have you done anything? It's May. You know, that way you guys are also just kind of in the loop. 720 Spring Mill, the developer continues to update me. He just literally can't get his contractor back out for this time period to go out and do it. And I don't think he's blowing me off. He's purchased some materials. I've seen him out there, and I've talked to his contractor. So he's like, Fred, I just can't get this other job done to get over there. So he's going to be all over there. They also wanted to now wait, because part of it's in a grassy area, that they're going to be able to grow grass, and they're going to tear up somebody's front yard. They really don't want to leave it there, and you can't tell somebody, yeah, I just destroyed your whole front yard. Could you go out and water it for me? So they're doing that. Like I said, 401-433 Washington just received the easements tonight. We did approve the plans on July 23rd, and we finally have the approved record drawings from the SEPTA train station. So that took a long time for a very simple 30-foot long line. So, but they're just a monster to move. That completes my report unless the board has any questions. So, and I'm not going to go over every development. You know, like I said, I'll put the updates in there. If there's something that is out of the normal, I'll bring it to the board's attention. But other than that, I'm just going to kind of just update.
Update it
Yeah,
and say it's done.
exactly. I don't want to say the minutia, but just where they at. That way, in case anyone asks you or neighbor says, hey, I saw them working down there, I can go back and tell you exactly where they are.
Right.
You know, so that completes my report.
A motion to approve the engineer's report.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Operations manager's report.
All right, as I found out last week in the email, our primary clarifiers are back online after all this time. It's such a great feeling. Everything's been good. We let everything go over the weekend, make sure everything's working fine. Everything's great. It's like one little piece left of that whole ordeal is that's the influent flow meter. We already have it on site, and it's already going in hopefully in the next 2 weeks. Oh, sorry. Next thing was Fun Fest. We're all ready to go with Fun Fest. We're going to do like we usually do, have a couple people there, a lot of signage, a lot of information, handouts for the kids. So that's all secured. Newsletter, upcoming newsletter. The articles went out this morning for the draft, piece it all together. So as soon as I get the draft, I'll send it to everybody and let them see it. We were invited by PRWA to possibly host one of their quarterly meetings in May of next year. So what they do is they actually come out on site, they set up vendors and contractors, professionals. We would have to find an off-site location, like a hall or something for them to actually hold the event, but they're very helpful with that. So that's still in the early stages. They're going to come out, I believe, next month and tour the facility and everything. So everybody's just going to come out, walk around, see our place, and it's a great opportunity to really just showcase our plan. So it's kind of exciting. So looking forward to that. I think that's all I have.
Do we have to budget for that, or do they pay for everything?
They supply like the shuttles and stuff. There's a lot to be, like I said, it's still early. I got to look into this. So,
What are we talking about, like the Marriott or something, or?
oh, I don't think it would be that level. No, I mean, if we have to get a hall, I'd like to see if maybe one of the fire companies could help us out and go from there. So this is all kind of new. So
Yeah, it's just the preliminary stages.
yeah, so they'll come out and they'll give me a little more information on that and
Who's the PRWA again?
that's pay. Was it?
That's Eastern Rural Water Association.
Yes.
Pennsylvania Rural?
Yeah.
Are they coming here for it?
So yeah, so it's,
It's a big city.
I was gonna say,
What's nice about these tours, I've been through, I think I've done 4 or 5 in my career with other facilities. It's basically a showcase, and we're gonna make the place, it gets our peers.
Dust it all up.
Yeah. We'll shine it. We'll
Right.
wax the whole entire place.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's a good educational, where everyone comes out and tours the facilities from the same.
Great networking, great
Yep.
education opportunity, and showcase our facility.
one thing they're interested in is our odor control system too. A lot of people want to look at those.
Yeah, Norristown, or not Norristown, Plymouth,
Well,
East
they-
Norton, they need to come down
So
and
does
find out what we
Norristown.
do.
Norristown as well.
Right? I walked up there last Sunday and it's horrible.
Oh, I see Upper Marion, everywhere.
Same way.
I guess it shouldn't be.
Any like good PR for that? Have you thought about?
you'll get a lot of good
Yeah.
PR, I mean, that, the Eastern Operator Association also does tours. But it does, and it really what it helps do is all of our vendors, because we're showcasing there, the people that install. People that install all the equipment are gonna be there showing it off and highlighting, because it helps their sales. So as a result, then it generates some other tours and things like that, and you just get name recognition, which helps with PADEP, because they'll also send people there. So there is, it's a hassle, I'll be honest with you, it's like having a party at your house. You know what I mean? It sounds great, like a lot of fun, but you spend all your time cleaning up, scrubbing everything, making sure that nothing goes wrong the day before. I mean, it's somebody's got to do it. It's very appreciative within the industry. I send a lot of my young engineers to these because they can see other people's designs. How do I do it compared to how they do it?
Well, I
Things
guess
like
that's
that.
what I was wondering, could it also be a recruiting opportunity?
Could be. That's a good question.
We'll slough off to anyone who comes in.
Every industry thing I ever went to, one of the first things people did as part of networking was start passing resumes around. So
It puts us on the radar of operators from other areas.
Right.
One of your operators came from one of my existing clients. He came from representing Warnersville. He came down here, and I think part of what it was I would mention you guys out there, and I just put it on the radar.
Right.
Never once did I tell him to come here, didn't even tell him about the job opening. I was worried I was gonna get fired over it, but no, it's just any exposure is good.
And my other question is the educational information at the Fun Fest. Is that something that's like on the shelf that we just pull down?
Some of it is, we have some poster boards. We have obviously stuff we don't put in the drains and some, actually like the flow diagram of a sewer plant, stuff like that. Every year we try to add something different. I think this year we're probably going to incorporate a little stormwater. I think,
Who can? Me, I'm sorry.
I can't hear what you're saying.
Oh, I'm pretty loud.
yes, we're going to incorporate some stormwater this year around. We usually give a little stress toys. We did the the poop emojis last year. The kids love that.
Oh, yeah.
So we're working on something different this year, and we usually hand out a bowl of candy. I think the Green Fest we participated in, we actually came up with some coloring books for the kids. So they seem to like that. There's crossword puzzles. Oh, and then always the toilet paper toss. So that's always been a big draw there.
When is it?
That's
The toilet paper toss.
no, when?
Oh, when
it
is
the
it?
When's Fun Fest?
I believe it's September
It's
21st.
Yeah.
Because have we done, like, I'm always curious about our website, that could we put some more educational information
Sure.
on our website and kind of leverage that? Because I think that there was a lot, like, just for me, I didn't know much about stormwater, and I've learned a lot, and there's a lot I don't know still, that maybe that would help people, like if you're planning a home improvement project, things to consider, and stuff like that.
That's a great idea. We do a lot of that in our newsletter as well. Like there's seasonal stuff, like how to keep your pipes from freezing and fixing leaks to save your water bill.
Yeah, that's good.
This utility person position, so this is the only one right now?
Right now, correct.
For one, right?
Yes.
That's a great lead-in. Is this an opportunity, or an improvement opportunity like Fun Fest? Maybe get a local person who might be interested?
It certainly could be.
Yeah.
I know we have it on the borough's website. We have it on our website. We have a Facebook account that's very minimal stuff on there. It's on there. It's posted with PMAA, which gets a lot of traction there. So we've been just posting it there first to see what we're getting, and then we'll expand our net.
Right. Okay, so motion to accept the operations manager's report.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, collection and maintenance reports.
They're just there for reference.
Right, just, we don't have to, okay, I thought that.
They're just on there for.
Executive director's report.
Excuse me. Do you think maybe I should just put that in the back of my report from now on? And just include it with that? Okay.
Just including it.
Yeah, I'll just do that going forward. We'll just take it off the agenda. We'll put it in the back of my report. Thank you, sorry.
That way, and then you can highlight anything. That's
Exactly.
important.
Yes.
Okay. Executive director's report.
Okay, we present there's a draft budget for 2025. We continue to modify that as we get a couple other proposals in the budget. September 18th, we will be invited guests to the Borough of Conshohocken to update them on stormwater. As Lauren said, we met with the borough a couple weeks ago, and the meeting went very efficiently. It was in and out in 15 minutes. I mean, we expect by next month we will have a few invoices from the borough for their services to us. So everything's working well with the stormwater to date. Plant continues to operate very well. If you look at the graph that in the finance report, specifically if I reference the sludge, we continue to be lower than we were in the past of every period, and we have more EDUs. I attribute this to success of how we run the digesters, even amongst us last year, how we run the primaries. I mean, it's been a long, as Ed was saying, it's a big deal that we ran the plant for almost a year and a half with a temporary pump system. And, well, I won't say anything. We got one more item to clean out the pipe before it gets out of the site, but no, I'll leave it at that. So, we'll be cleaning the pipe up the end of this week, and we're back to normal operation. We're going to continue to try to operate the digesters even better than before, because all these back, the less sludge we produce, that huge cash item, and especially if you hear as they presented or heard tonight, another 450 EDUs, that's another 1,000 people. Everyone produces pounds, and that correlates to what we're going to produce at the plant, and we want to reduce our footprint. I mean, and it's showing. I mean, where we've been. Other than that, the plants were working very well. And we're, hopefully next month I should have proposals for our Class A, Class B consultants.
Right.
They were supposed to give us in July. We did not receive them. And we poked them and hopefully we'll have it again.
Is all that stuff down at Sutcliffe for the stormwater?
What's that again?
There's all this stuff down at Sutcliffe Park. Is that for the stormwater or is that something else going on and has nothing to do with us?
You know,
I haven't been down there.
Oh, then it must not be us.
And then we still have, we're looking for a utility person and we have a few applicants, but we're waiting to see the marketplace is starting to open up more. You know what's happening in the marketplace. We were getting tight and hopefully we'll land someone. I mean, I'd rather be patient to get the right person and we'll go from there. I would say I want local because we want everyone with a response.
Okay.
Okay.
Any questions or anything? Okay, motion to accept the executive director's report.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. It's approved. Is this an executive session?
No, we have none for none.
Okay. Any old business or new business summary? Motion to end the meeting.
I'll motion.